Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today is September the 6th, 2022. We're going to talk about 5 Doomsday Sayers and what they got to say about the stock market and their forecast, their predictions as to where the market's going to go. For me, I make sure that what they're saying, that it's in line with what the price chart is showing. Okay, that's one thing I want everyone to realize. When you come into the stock market and when you're trying to invest or you're a trader, everything that you see, everything that you research needs to correlate with the money, with the price. And if it does, then you can kind of say that these individuals that you're paying attention to, that they're pretty legitimate, like they're accurate in their presumptions and their research, and that they're not trying to just simply give you the run-of-the-mill buzzwords and try to pump you up and dump these stocks on you at all. That's how you're able to understand whether or not certain individuals are sincere about what they're saying, or are they simply just trying to grab the bag. If you guys want to follow me, hit the like button, and also subscribe. Now, real quick, this article came out from Business Insider right here with the title, okay? Michael Burry and Jeremy Grantham have warned an epic stock market crash is underway. Here's what 5 doomsayers expect to happen next. So we're going to get their predictions, right? And a lot of these proponents who been doom and gloom and, stock market crash and recession and depression have been screaming the same type of rhetoric for quite a while, right? A lot of these individuals that you're going to see on this article have been saying the same thing in and out, year over year, been telling us that a stock market crash is going to come. Now, we've been reaching all-time highs ever since they've been talking this. And at some point, credibility has to be put on the table, and at some point you got to give it a time frame. Like, if you're expecting a stock market crash, right? Yes, I think all of us will come to agreement to say eventually the stock's going to crash, the market is going to come down, we're going to hit a depression. It's part of the business cycle. But you cannot come in and say, look, for the next 20 years the market's going to crash, the market's going to crash, the market's going to crash, and in year 21 it finally crashed. Like, your credibility is shot because you've been telling people the same notion that the market's going to crash for 20 years. And it took that long for the market to crash. Like, you're going to persuade people not to trade or invest because of the fear that's being garnered from you. It kind of reminds me of like Peter Schiff, the boy who cries wolf. Look at this article real quick. So, these doomsday sayers, you guys can see it right here: Michael Burry, Jeremy Grantham, Nouriel Roubini, Robert Kiyosaki, and Harry Dent. Okay, these are one of the biggest proponents. They have their faces on a lot of social media platforms and during interviews. They have cited excessive valuations, okay, stubborn inflation, a potential recession, pandemic disruptions, food and fuel crises, and some of the reasons they expect a devastating crash. Okay, we get it. It's part of the business cycle and some other things. Now, this is Michael Burry. Okay, Burry has suggested the S&P 500 could plummet by 53% to below 1,900 points over the next few years, based on the benchmark index bottom tick during previous crashes. So he's looking for 1,900 points. That could be the reason why he sold out all of his stocks, except for one. And he's sitting in cash because when that market drops in bottom, he's going to jump in and swoop in and buy these assets at extremely low prices. Okay, now he's looking at this over the next couple of years though. So it doesn't mean that the market is not going to have some runs to higher prices, because it will. But overall, he's looking for 1,900 points. Then you have Jeremy Grantham. He's saying that an epic super bubble across stocks, bonds, housing was about to collapse, and he wrote that in his research note this week. This article came out, September 4th. Okay, so it's recent. He also noted that previous super bubbles have always been followed by market declines of at least 50%. He pointed to shrinking corporate margins, high inflation, interest rate hikes, food and energy crisis, pandemic disruptions, the Russia-Ukraine war, and longer-term issues such as an aging population and labor shortages. People don't want to work. Okay. Each cycle is different and unique, I would agree, but every historical parallel suggests that the worst is yet to come. Fear. Are you scared? Are you nervous? Next one you got Nouriel Roubini. He suggested during a recent webinar that the Federal Reserve might have to raise interest rates to around 5% just to bring in inflation, just to calm it down from rising so much. But he said a hike of that magnitude in a debt-ridden U.S. economy could cause stocks, bonds, housing, credit, private equity, and other markets to crash. He also argued the economy was poised to suffer a painful recession, which could drive stocks down by another 35%. So check this out. We've seen three individuals, right? And they've given us their price predictions on how low the market's going to go. Roubini is looking for 35%. Jeremy is looking for 50%. And then you have Michael, who's looking at around 53%. You guys see a correlation here? Even though all of these individuals are looking for a crash to occur, their percentages are different though. So you're never going to get everyone to think the same thing. I want you all to realize that. So from our viewpoint, from us standing out looking in, we want to have an objective viewpoint. You want to see everyone's opinions, no doubt. We want to see what they think, because we'll begin to look at the chart and see what the overall market thinks, and we'll see which one of those individuals are correct. Then you have Robert Kiyosaki. He said that the crash is already here and that millions will be wiped out. Check this out. You have right here, Burry, right? He did a tweet right here. And yet I keep getting asked when the crash. Well, Mike, it looked like Robert answered your question, because he says that the crash is here. This is his tweet, right? Let me see where it was. Here it is right here, August the 28th. 2008 was a great time to get rich. Everything went on sale. Borrowed millions of dollars buying real estate bargains. 2013, I published Rich Dad Prophecy predicting bigger crash coming. That crash is here in all caps. Millions will be wiped out. Please do not be one of them. Time you get richer. So Mike, Robert has answered your question when crash. According to Robert, it's here. Now, he wants to reassure people or investors that sell-offs provide opportunities to scoop up bargains and ultimately get rich. He recalled borrowing millions of dollars to purchase cut-price real estate during the financial crisis. Now, let's get to the last one, Harry Dent. Okay, he touted the expected downturn as a chance for young people to invest at reasonable prices, generate robust returns, and save for retirement. He recommended investing in multifamily real estate and long-dated treasury bonds before the asset prices crash. So it looked like these individuals are simply sitting on the sideline waiting for these assets to go down, to plummet. And namely, it looked like they're going to jump on the real estate market, going to buy some real estate on the low. Now check this out. Harry Dent was telling us here in this article, he's telling us, hey, wait for the downturn to come in and buy stocks. But all these YouTubers have been pumping stocks all year, last year, 2020, 2021, when everyone got their stimulus checks, right? And now today, 2022, this is the opportunity, because a lot of these stocks have fallen 60, 75, 80% from those highs. Now, who would you follow? Would you follow these individuals here in this article, or would you follow the YouTubers? YouTubers pump the stocks, while these individuals here in this article is waiting. For us, we look at the chart. All right, so that's it. I'm not going to do a price prediction because you guys can tell on my other videos, I've already predicted what I think the market's going to do. A lot of these individuals and their predictions as to how the market's going to trade is so far is correlating with the price, right? So, I mean, I have nothing against what they're trying to say, their opinions. It is in line with what the market is showing us. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, as time goes on and we see this market in the S&P 500, NASDAQ, the Dow come in and break these downtrend lines, then we'll have to come in and talk. But until then, you guys can see what I think. Questions, give me your thoughts, give me your opinions. Make sure you maintain a profitability. And as always, trade different.